In Lesson 2, we are going to be looking at displaying data in dot plots. So you may have seen dot plots before, and we'll see what one looks like soon so that you can see if you remember them. Example 1 says Mia, a 6th grader at Roosevelt Middle School, was thinking about joining the middle school track team. She read that Olympic athletes have lower resting heart rates than most people. She wondered about her own heart rate and how it would compare to other students. Mia was interested in investigating the statistical question, what are the heart rates of the students in my 6th grade class? Heart rates are expressed as BPM, or beats per minute. Mia knew her resting heart rate was 80 beats per minute. She asked her teacher if she could collect the heart rates of the other students in her class. With the teacher's help, the other 6th graders in her class found their heart rates and reported them to Mia. Following are the heart rates in beats per minute for the 22 other students in Mia's class. To learn about the heart rates, a good place to start is to make a graph of the data. There are several different graphs that could be used, including the 3 types of graphs that you will learn about in this module: dot plots, histograms, and box plots. In this lesson, you will learn about dot plots. Mia noticed that there were many different heart rates. She decided to make a dot plot to show the different heart rates. She drew a number line and started numbering from 78 to 92. She then placed a dot above the number on the number line for each heart rate. If there was already a dot above a number, she added another dot above the one already there. She continued until she had added 1 dot for each heart rate. How many dots should be on the dot plot? Okay, and if we look, she said there were 22 classmates, but then she also had her own. So there would be 23 dots, 22 classmates, plus 1 for Mia. Okay, so in the directions, it said that she drew a number line and started numbering from 78 to 92. I am going to actually do that in a second. First, I'm going to title my dot plot, and I'm going to title this Heart Rates of Students in a 6th grade class. Okay, so we want to make sure that we've titled it so we know what the information is showing us. We also need to label our number line. So I'm going to start putting those numbers, starting with 78 all the way up to 92 on my number line, and I need to say what that 78 is actually talking about. If we read back into the problem, it is the heart rates, and we want to be super specific here, and in parentheses I would put BPM, or beats per minute. So I know that each one of these is how many beats their heart or how many beats they had in 1 minute. So I'm going to start labeling 78, 79, all the way up to the 92 that says that she numbered it to. I like to put the little line above so I can be sure where the dots that I'm going to put on there match up with, so it doesn't get too confusing. So the next thing that I do is I go through and I do them one at a time. So I would start with 89. I'm going to cross it off and put a dot above 89. I would go to 87, cross it off, put a dot above 87, and so on, all the way through the entire list. So I am going to continue doing that. Okay, so this is the completed dot plot for this information. So notice if there was more than one heart rate of 82, I put 2 dots above it showing that there's 2 people with heart rates of 82. Okay, so the next thing it asks for is the center of the data. At this point, what we are going to use for our center of data is going to be the median. The median is the middle number. I always think of it as the middle number Because if you're on the highway and you have that strip of grass in between the two sides of the road, that's called the median. It's in the middle. So that's how I remember that median is the middle number. In order to find the median, the very first thing that you need to do is you need to write down the numbers in numerical order. So I'm going to put 79, 80, 81. I'm going to put 2 82s, so you have to put all of the numbers. I'm going to put 4 83s because there's 4 83s, 3 84s, and so on. So I want to make sure that I'm getting every single number on that list. Okay, so there they all are. So the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to find the center of this information. Now, we know that there are 23 pieces of data on here. So if I were to do 23 divided by 2, or splitting it in half, that is going to give me 11 1/2. So when this happens, when you have, when you're dividing by 2, you're either going to get a whole number or something, a whole number and a half. So if you get 11 1/2, what that means is you'll count till you get to the 11th number on the list. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And it's going to be the very next number. So it's actually going to be the 12th number on the list. In this case, that would be our median. If you want to stop to check, what this means is if this is the median, on either side of that median, there should be the same number of numbers. So if I count, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 over here. And then on the other side of 84, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so on either side, so that is my middle, that 84, the median. You can also do this by taking a number at the beginning, crossing it off for a number at the end, and keep going back and forth until you're left with just one number. If you are, however, left with two numbers, so if there is an even number of numbers in the set, you would be left with 2 in the center. If they're the same number, that's just your median. But if they're not the same number, like if I fell in between here, I would have to add those 2 together and divide by 2 to find the median. Okay? Another way that we can find the center of data with a dot plot is by using the mode. Okay, and to find the mode is the one that occurs the most. And I just remember it because they kind of sound alike. Mode, most. So I would look at my dot plot and see which one has the most dots above it. And above the most dots, or above the one with the most dots, is 83. So the center of my data in this case is 83. Notice 83 and 84 are fairly close to one another, so it really kind of just depends on what you're looking for in terms of the center. Typically right now we're going to be looking at the median. You can use the mode if you prefer, but you may be asked specifically to find the median. We are going to discuss when it's best to use each one of these measures of center, including other measures of center that we're going to see in this unit later on in the unit. So for right now, we're really just looking at the median. Okay, so that is how you would create a dot plot for some information and then use the median to find the center.